Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legends Reborn, my football manager series where I create past legends, retired players, put them into FM14 and see how they get on in their careers by holidaying the game. And today I've decided to choose 3 Dutch legends simply because Holland have been exceptional at the World Cup, one of the standout teams. Probably quite surprisingly in a way, not many people expected them to do that well. And I thought it would be quite fitting to choose 3 legends from the Netherlands. I think if you ask someone on the street 3 retired Dutch footballers, you'd say Cruyff, Van Basten and Bergkamp. Some other people might say other players, but the most common names that would come out would be those 3, I would say. So I've created them all at 16, 17 years old. So this is Cruyff, age 17. If you haven't watched my other videos, check them out. But also, just for information, I create the players on the editor at 16, 17 years old. So this isn't their final attributes. They will improve with their potential. Obviously, I've given them very good potential. Hopefully, they will reach world-class status. And I've also selected favourite clubs. If they've played lots of games for other clubs, then I'll put them as favourite clubs. So hopefully, they will move to those favourite clubs, just like in real life. That they moved there, but I start them at the club they actually started at in real life. So Ajax for all 3 of these players, Van Basten, and obviously Bergkamp as well. I've selected his favourite club to be Arsenal, so we'll have to see if he ventures over to England and moves to Arsenal. The likelihood is someone like Man City will come in and purchase all 3 of them because that's what they do. Maybe Barcelona and Real Madrid as well, but that seems to be the pattern of things, which is a bit unfortunate. But that's what would happen in real life, I guess, if these players existed, because the best, richest clubs would sign these players. Anyway, I will holiday it through till they're about the age of 20, 21, 22 and see how they've got on in their youth careers. Oh, and also, for those of you that will inevitably ask, the database will be put into the Steam Workshop. Pele, Maradona and the Zidane database have done very well, getting thousands of views and subscriptions, and people have downloaded it and had fun with it, and they've been top of the Steam Workshop items list for a while, so that's really good to see. So thank you guys for that. Yeah, so I will put that in the description below and you can check it out. Okay, so we're in the year 2018. For some reason I've noticed something. I've somehow created this database and it's deleted the World Cup and the Euro Championships, apart from the 2014 World Cup. So I don't know what's happened there. I'll sort that out before putting it on the Steam Workshop, but we won't be able to see these players in the World Cup, unfortunately. So it will be interesting to see how many caps they can get just from friendlies, because obviously World Cups and Euro Championships would get them lots of caps. Perhaps the teams will play more friendlies, but this is a world of no World Cups or competitions. We'll see how they get on, but I think the club form's more interesting, and I'll sort it out so when you download it yourself it will be working fine. But I only discovered that when I'd holidayed right to the age of like 36, so that takes forever. I'm not going to redo that, I'm afraid, just for the sake of the World Cup. Anyway, as you can see, Cruyff has moved to Man City. Some of you are probably like, oh, why Man City, why? As I've seen before, but he did have a couple of seasons at Ajax. Obviously played for the second team, well, only 1 game actually, before getting into the first team, managing to get 10 goals and 5 assists in that first season, and then 13 goals and 9 assists. And moving to Man City for 23.5 million, lots of goals, 16 goals, 21 goals, 21 assists as well. Amazing season this season, absolutely phenomenal, and quite a few caps for Holland, as you saw. So that's, wow, what you'd expect really. We'll see where he's playing, because in real life I read that he was almost like an original false 9, playing up front and dropping back into midfield. But he's mainly playing on the right wing and attacking midfield. Played a few games up front, but he's very versatile, so he can play anywhere. Favourite personnel, Dennis Bergkamp. As you can see, he's moved there, and Seedorf is the manager. Oh no, he's the manager of Holland, I'm guessing. I don't know, because there's three different guys there that are managers, but one of them probably from my ex. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at his achievements. and what he's managed so far at Man City. So as you can see, he's won the Premiership, Community Shield twice, FA Cup runners-up, but also he's managed to feature in Team of the Week and that sort of thing, Team of the Season, various awards. We'll look at Golden Ball and that sort of thing in the next update when they're about the age of 25, 26. Won his first cap at the age of 18. Moving on to Bergkamp, 5 goals in 23 games for Holland at the age of 22. Attributes have improved, looked incredible. He's at Man City on 150k a week. So he also spent 3 seasons at Ajax in the end actually. He didn't play in the first season for the first team, but did very well for the second team. Before breaking into the first team, 27 goals that first season, and then 5 goals before moving to Man City. So it's actually only 2 whole seasons and part of the third season. Moving to 20 million, I think that's a bargain really, especially if he stays there for his whole career. Thing is, the player value goes up so much that other teams are unlikely to come in for them because they're so expensive. But he's had a few good seasons, 27 goals that season, 27 goals last season as well, so that's pretty solid. Considering I think they've trained him mainly as a left winger. Look, he's playing on the left wing and he's scored so many goals from that left wing, that's impressive. Only 15 goals up front. Obviously in real life he was mainly a second striker just behind someone like Ian Wright, those sort of players. But he's been played on the left wing and trained up there to be natural on the left wing, which is quite interesting. So if you sign him on your game, you might want to train him as that, or you may want to train him as a, shadow striker or something like that. So obviously his achievements are very similar. He's won the Premiership and the League Cup. Have a quick look at how it's going in the league. Man City have actually won it 3 seasons in a row, but of course they weren't there in the first couple of seasons. So they were there for that one. But since then, Arsenal and Chelsea have won it. And I'm assuming he's probably featured in Team of the Weeks, Team of the Year, that sort of thing. Young Player of the Year he won. That's good to see. So lastly, Marco van Basten, who in fact has moved to Arsenal. So Bergkamp didn't go to Arsenal, but Van Basten has. Looks like a very good striker. 2 goals in 11 games for Holland. He's a bit behind the other 2. But with Cruyff and Bergkamp, and then you've obviously got Van Persie, Robben, all those sort of Dutch players. He may not be as prominent as he was in real life in the 80s. Anyway, he spent a few years at Ajax. Well, 2-3 seasons. Didn't play a huge number of games really for them. Managed to get 15 goals in 16 games that season. Moved to Arsenal for 12.75 million. 8 goals in his first season, then 21 goals and 24 goals. So steadily improving. Lots of goals. That's good to see. And of course, Arsenal did win the Premiership. He's actually won more competitions than the other 2 at Man City, because they've won the FA Cup, Community Shield twice, the Premiership and the Capital One Cup. So it's a trophy every season he's been there, which is good to see. And we'll have a quick look at this. He's been named in the best Holland team and Team of the Week and that sort of thing. So Holland are currently 6th in the world. Benfica and Cruyff feature on that list of their best players, but without the World Cup, there's not so much prominence about this, about international football. But like I said, it'd be interesting to see how many caps they can get without competitive football. Spain beat Switzerland in the 2014 World Cup final, just for your interest. After that, there's nothing. I think what I did was I installed the World Cup 2014 database and had that selected when I selected this database, and it screwed it up a bit. So I don't think there's a problem with my database. I think it is actually because I selected that as well. But never mind. Doesn't matter too much because they've all managed to, well, Cruyff and Bergkamp have managed to get to 50 caps, no trouble, by the age of 26, 27. So they may manage to get to 100 without even playing competitive games. Anyway, Cruyff is still at Man City. Looks brilliant and has been very, very good every single season with impressive average ratings. Lots of goals, 27, 29, 26, 32 goals this season. He's not even playing up front. And 29 assists. That is just insane. What a player. Achievements wise, Man City have continued to do very well and get better and better, winning the Premiership, FA Cup, won the Champions League and the World Club Championship, FA Cup. Have a quick look at Champions Leagues. We've seen PSG win it, Dortmund, Chelsea, Man City, Juventus winning the last one. So that's good to see. And we'll have a look at Golden Ball and that sort of thing in a minute, once I've been through all the players. But you can have a look and pause things if you like. But there's a hell of a lot of things to go through. So Bergkamp, he's also still at Man City, worth 61 million on 225k a week. Not as many goals for him from that left wing position. Cruyff seems to be getting most of the goals, but he's still getting over 20 goals most seasons. Plenty of assists too maybe. Well, he's actually played up front more games than on the left wing last season. Don't know about previous seasons, but that's good to see that he's playing up front. And obviously has won similar awards, so there's not much point looking through them quite the same. And lastly, Van Basten, still at Arsenal, worth 40 million, 150k a week. Only 29 caps for Holland, but there's other Dutch players, isn't there, that will be getting in that team. And there's only a certain number of places. He's got 11 goals though, so he's done okay. And for Arsenal, he has been a good player, getting 20 goals most seasons. Until recently, in fact, he's dropped off a bit. I assume they're playing him up front. They must be, because that's the only way he can play. And, well, achievements-wise, Arsenal have done very well, haven't they? They've won the Premiership once more, and Capital One Cup and FA Cup a couple of times. No Champions League for them, though. That would be good if he can manage to get one of those under his belt. Managed to score the fastest Arsenal goal after 11 seconds. And he's been shortlisted for the World Golden Ball. So we'll have a quick look if they've managed to feature in it at all. I don't think they have at this stage. Cruyff finished third. This guy, this regen, looks pretty insane. Defender. And this is another regen. Voigt, striker for Tottenham. That's a very impressive player right there. Well, Player of the Year. Don't think they've featured at all as of yet. We'll have to hope they can manage to do that before the age of 30. And Team of the Season. Have they featured here at all? Cruyff's on the bench last season, but I can't see them anywhere. Bergkamp was in that Team of the Year. Cruyff was on the bench. Cruyff was up front in that Team of the Year, and Bergkamp was on the bench. So they featured a few times. Cruyff's done very well, so that's good to see. Anyway, I'll holiday it again and see how they're getting on by the age of about 31, 32. So here we are in 2028. Cruyff and Bergkamp have both managed to earn 87 caps for their country. Bergkamp scoring more goals. Van Basten's up to 49. 21 goals. That's a good record, really. He's got the same number as Cruyff. And as you can see, they're still worth a lot of money despite being in their 30s now. Cruyff is 32. Can he reach 100 caps? Possibly. He hasn't retired yet. And that's an impressive record considering they haven't obviously featured in any World Cup competitions. And as you can see, the points are much lower because of that reason. And yeah, well, there's no real surprises there, I don't think. Israel are 11th, that's Ukraine are up to 8th, Turkey 7th, but Spain, Brazil, France, Holland, Italy, top 5. Anyway, this is Cruyff. The last few seasons, he's still been very effective, scoring plenty of goals, at least 20 every single season, at least 20 assists apart from one season every season. He's been insane. His average ratings are incredible. His average rating 7.66, 540 league appearances, 211 goals, 165 assists, 68 man of the matches. He has just been incredible. And Man City have won a few more things. They've won the Champions League again for the second time. Juventus look like they've dominated, but it's good to see Man City won winning a couple of competitions here, and also the World Club Championship and the Premiership as well. They've managed to win 3 of the last 4. In fact, Tottenham have also been very dominant. This is Bergkamp, still at Man City. Looks like they're going to stay there forever until they retire anyway. And yeah, he's also done very well. Not as many goals as Cruyff like before. I don't know where they're playing him now. Just have a quick look. Mainly playing on the left wing again now. So he's not going to get as many goals from out wide. He's also won lots of personal awards. No surprise there. And moving on to Van Basten, who's still at Arsenal, 170k a week. Not being quite as good as the other 2 players. Obviously in real life he'd retired at this point because he retired at the age of 28. But he's still scoring goals. Over 10 goals apart from that season. Must have been a bit injury hit. And plenty of games under his belt this season, but didn't score too many goals at all. Bit of a disappointing season for him. An average rating below 6.9, which is never good. But he's continued to win competitions. No, he hasn't. Arsenal haven't won anything since 2021. That's really quite disappointing, in fact. So they've gone on another competition glut. Not glut, that's the wrong word, isn't it? Famine. There we go. But he's won personal awards and various things. Been named in the Holland Best 11 and that sort of thing. So here we are in 2031. Probably their last update as players. And Cruyff and Bergkamp both managed to get to 100 caps in the end. 102 each. And Van Basten got half of that, 54. So not quite so good for him. But he's actually worth more than Bergkamp at the moment. So Cruyff, still at Man City at the age of 35, had a phenomenal career with them, winning multiple awards. We'll have a look at Golden Ball once again, just to see if he ever managed to win one in the last 8 seasons or so. So, continued to score goals, continued to get assists, not so many the last couple of seasons as you would expect with his age, but still very good average rating. Achievements-wise, Man City have continued to win things. They won the Champions League for a 3rd time in 2029. Also winning the Super Cup, Premiership, Community Shield as well. But Man City really have dominated the English competitions since the start of this game. And awards-wise, he's obviously won lots of individual awards, but we'll have a look at Golden Ball in a minute. Van Basten, still at Arsenal, age 34, still earning a lot of money, but not so many goals. Managed to get 16 goals this season, so that's quite good. But have they managed to win anything? They have. Suddenly they've won 3 European competitions in a row. The Euro Cup, and then the Super Cup after that, and then the Euro Cup this season as well. So that's good to see they've actually won a European competition. Obviously not the big one, but Barcelona won it in 2029 and Leicester won it in 2027. Good mixture of teams you get to see winning this competition. That's what I like about the Euro Cup. Broke the Arsenal all-time record for most league goals of 176. Is that more than Henry then? Anyway, he's had a good season, good career with Arsenal. And Bergkamp, obviously still at Man City. Don't think they're going to move on before they retire. His career has started to slow down a bit, but still managed to get 13 goals last season and 7 goals this season in only, well, I didn't play many games at all really, so he's done well. Obviously won a few things recently as well. So let's look at World Golden Ball. So as you can see, Cruyff has actually won it 3 times in a row. I think he's the only one to actually feature in the top 3 out of our players. Finished 3rd, then he finished first, then dropped off completely, but he won it at the age of 32, which is really quite impressive. So we'll have to see if he also managed to do the same in the World Player of the Year. He actually only won it once, So he did finish second, then won it, then didn't feature ever again. And World Team of the Year. So let's just have a quick look at the overall Team of the Year. Cruyff is there in midfield. Bergkamp's also on it, but we can't see Van Basten anywhere. So going back, you can see them featuring a few times here and there. Yeah, a few times they feature. Cruyff mainly in the first team. So I'll holiday it till they retire, see if they become managers or assistant manager, that sort of thing, and then end this video. So they've all retired now. Cruyff actually managed 8 more games for Holland in the end after that point, and they are top of the world rankings. But when you play this database, you'll have to see if they actually managed to win any real competitions with these 3 guys in the team. Maybe you can train Van Basten up accordingly so he's better, maybe more equipped at a team where they will make him their main man. But Bergkamp's become an assistant manager. They all retired last season, so they only had 1 more season. Van Basten's a manager and Cruyff is a manager. So it's a bit like real life actually, what they did. So that's it really. I would holiday further, see how they get on with their management careers, but the game goes so slow at this point when I'm holidaying, there's not much point. But you can do that for yourself if you like with the database. Just subscribe to it on Steam Workshop, then go to download section on the Football Manager homepage, install the database. Then when you start a new game, you need to select that database and start it. People keep asking how to do it, but that's how you do it. It's not rocket science. But if you can't work out a way, I'm sure there's some sort of video or some sort of instruction somewhere on FM Scout, one of those websites, on how to do it. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you like it, if you like the database, and also comment on possible players that you'd like me to do in upcoming videos. I don't know how many more I'll be able to get out before the World Cup ends. I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll do 1 next week and that will be it. And then I will start to do other players, maybe non-World Cup legends, players like George Best that never got the chance to play, and maybe Duncan Edwards, someone who died so short into his career. That would be quite interesting as well. It's just ideas that I may do at some point. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode.